For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, we are live and amplified. So let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
A year, and that's when I went to Florida and we worked a storm.
Yeah, I got
hung out, and I went and danced in the tiny little, what do they call it, Little Havana.
Yeah, I got you. And so you went down there after not Michael, Irene?
It was like Harvey.
Harvey, okay.
Yeah, it was Harvey, and we went down there, and I'm half Puerto Rican.
Okay.
But I was raised by my mama in a small town in Texas. Yeah. And so this is the stuff you should be recording.
Oh, I'm already recording.
I was like, this is.
I just slid it.
I need to hear your story, but it was I was waiting for you to stop the whole Florida talk, so that because I didn't want to hear one day Tallahassee. Where was it we were talking shit
Tallahassee.
about? Tallahassee to hear us talking shit about them.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
They know I don't like Tallahassee.
It's okay. So, But yeah, so I can't even remember. I was thinking about your Florida thing now. What am I? Oh, I was an insurance adjuster for a year. So went down there. I'm half Puerto Rican. Never met that side of my family. And then when I was I was 9 months pregnant with my daughter, I met my dad for the first time, and so he introduced me to this whole Puerto Rican side of me. And so when I went to Florida as an insurance adjuster, I went down I'm just a little small town. I was in Temple was where where I was. Little kid at.
Yeah.
And so I'm in Little Havana in Miami, Florida, and I just felt such my roots. So I was this is who I am. This is who I am. So yeah, it was fun. We danced to Cuban music and ate Cuban sandwiches and drank lots of espressos.
Nice. That's a very Miami thing.
Very Miami. I was
yeah.
And we worked a lot too. We worked a lot, but we did get to do the whole dance. Our Airbnb guy was in a Cuban band. He was
nice.
a drummer.
Nice. That's really cool.
What's fun?
So you grew up in Texas, not in Granbury, but...
No, I grew up just outside of Waco.
Okay.
In a little town, the Belton Temple area.
Okay, gotcha. We just had Lillian. She's from Gatesville?
Yeah, that's where I graduated.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I know a little bit about it. I'm a little bit more familiar with the surrounding areas around Waco, but I get down to Belton Temple.
Yeah.
Fort Cavazos, I guess it is now. So
I don't even know what that is. I've been
Fort
gone
Hood.
for so long.
It's the Army
Fort Hood?
Yeah, Fort Hood changed its name to Fort Cavazos.
Wait, what? You're blowing my mind right now.
Yeah.
What?
They
when did that happen? How am I so out?
6 months ago.
A whole fort changed their name from Fort Hood to Fort what?
Cavazos.
Cavazos. Why?
Because apparently Fort Hood had racist connotations.
Really?
Supposedly.
I had no idea. I lived there my whole life.
Yeah. So yeah, they changed it to Fort Cavazos. I think he was the first admiral or general. Or
that's crazy. That's crazy news to me.
Yeah. It's I like dropping bombshells. I guess
you really did literally and that was good. That was great context around that, Fort Hood and bombshells. Good job there. So you did there.
Yeah. So kind of growing up in I hate calling it the Central Texas area because I don't feel
Syntax.
What's that?
The Syntax.
Yeah. It's it's not even almost Central Texas. It's
Gatesville's a little bit, I guess, out of the edge of that. I spent I grew up in Temple, Belton area until I was in high school, and then I moved to Gatesville.
Gotcha.
That's where I graduated from.
Cool.
And that's all kind of once you get to Belton and then you can Temple, Gatesville, it's like a little side skirt of Waco, I feel like.
Fair enough. So where does music kind of come into play?
I started, so my granddad was a guitar player, but he was it was just a hobby thing for him. He wasn't a career guy, but he just kept a guitar behind his couch, and every now and then he would pull it out. And I was the first grandkid, so me and my papa were homies.
Yeah.
And so when we would hang out, he would sometimes pick guitar for me. We'd go to races together. He'd take me when he went to the restaurant, the cafe in the morning, and flirted with the waitresses. I got to go with him, and so we were homies. And that's where the music first came from. And then not until I was 16 did I start to really want to learn
Yeah.
the instrument, and I was grounded a lot because I was kind of a crazy kid. It was like a little bit bad. So while I was grounded, I would practice my guitar. My neighbor was a guitar player, and I didn't like. I wasn't like a really like. I was kind of shy. I don't know how to say. I wasn't like a very forward kid, so I would never like. I could hear my neighbor playing his guitar, but I was shy, so I would just like sit on the other side of the fence and listen.
Yeah.
And then one day he like knew I was sitting there, and he kind of embarrassed me, but I was like, hey, he was like, you look interested. I have an extra guitar and a little book, so he handed me the guitar and this little book. And I taught myself a few chords, and then I'd always written like poems down, and so I started like writing songs, and I was like 16 when I started doing that.
Who are you like outside of like your immediate circle? Who are you listening to like musically for influences at that point when you're
at that point? That's such a good question because I feel like that builds an artist. You know, what a great question. Well, like. And then an artist will evolve, like I feel like, you know, and then evolve and evolve and evolve. But at that time, when I very first picked up a guitar, I was in Gatesville, Texas. So I was like very influenced by small like Texas red dirt music and like who was playing in the honky tonk in Pretty, Texas, and which was like it was a dance hall in the middle of nowhere, and like Gatesville was like kind of really a rural town. So it was like not the thing to do was to like. Okay, like we're underage, obviously, and let's go grab some beer and let's go back road and drink some beer all the way to the dance hall in Pretty where Jason Boland was playing. Yeah, you know, and that's kind of like where that music. So it was like Jason and would play there, and like Stoney LaRue was like doing a lot in the scene, and Randy Rogers, and it was like that whole Kevin Fowler scene, you know, and like. And so, like, I remember being like, and Miranda Lambert had, you know, made her way at that time, and. So I'm this little girl in Texas, like picking up a guitar, and so of course, like I was like, I want to sound like, I want to be like Miranda Lambert and the Dixie Chicks, or the Chicks, you know, and so like I was writing a lot of country stuff, and I was, you know, like singing really country like songs, and actually my first time I got to actually get out and play in front of people, I went to school in Alpine, Texas, way west Texas, went to Sul Ross, and they had a little bar there called the Buffalo Rose. And they were like, yeah, you can get up there for some tips, and you know, like, so I like brought my little amp. I didn't even have like a PA. I didn't know what that I didn't even know what that meant, what that was. So I was like, I got this little speaker and I had my guitar, and I played like 10 songs like 3 times. That's embarrassing.
You know,
but there was like 3 Miranda Lambert songs on all of those.
You know, it's really not though, because like I've seen musicians do that before where they don't have enough like material, and it's like you're trying to cover a 2 or 3 hour, like whatever it is, and it's like, okay, play your songs, take a break. Well, you take a break, and then you like, because so it's really not that bad as long as you're not playing like the same song back to back, you know.
No, it wasn't. It was, for me, it was like I was cutting my teeth, and I was like, this is all I got, and I'm having a great time, and people were having a great, you know, like I was getting, you know, like some feedback. It was actually like a nice little restaurant, so there's people there, and so it was fun to do it, you know, so it was fine.
And you were writing right from the jump?
I was writing, definitely like writing stuff that, like just, I was always writing silly stuff, from the time I was like a kid, you know, but then I was writing too, and had a couple originals. I think one was there's songs I don't even remember, you know, like this has been a while back, but there was like West Texas Rain. It's like living in Alpine.
What school did you go to in Alpine?
Sul Ross.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the university.
Okay.
Out there, it was. I thought I was going to be a vet tech or a veterinarian or something like that.
Is that what they're like known for out there?
Animal science and range animal stuff. It's, you know, there's it's kind of known for that.
Okay, gotcha.
It's a school where I could play softball and study and get away from Gatesville. I was like, not any knock on Gatesville, but it was just like, you know, when you're 17, you're like, I need to get the hell out of here.
Do you miss that drive through West Texas?
That's where that song came from. Yeah. That was kind of a cool drive. You only did it like because it was so long. You only did it twice a year.
I do it like once every other month. So.
Oh my goodness, where to?
I go out to Roswell, New Mexico.
Roswell, yeah. So I mean, like, you're just cutting through the desert.
Waco to Roswell, and
wow.
The only part that I don't like is trying to get what's the expressway now that'll take you through
El Paso?
No, not El Paso. It'll take you. I don't. There's you got to take like a back road to one of the expressways to get to like Lubbock and
yeah. I don't ever go. I try to stay like if I'm going to like Colorado or New Mexico, like I try to stay like El Paso and.
Okay, so you're taking like you go to like 10.
Yeah.
You'll stay way south, take 10, and then cut up that way.
Yes.
That's not a bad way to go. I like taking 10, except the first time I ever tried to take it. I was coming from Roswell, New Mexico. I was going down to Florida to visit my parents with my buddy.
That's a long trip.
I like to drive. Like, driving's kind of just like something that chills me out. And so GPS was like, well, go to 10 because it's faster, whatever. And because I didn't know what I was doing, I was cutting through somebody's acreage because they have like those farm access roads and whatnot.
So you're just driving through someone's ranch?
Yeah, I'm driving through somebody's ranch and there's cows walking all over the place, and I'm like, I don't know if we're supposed to be here. Like, it was a public road, but
they're like, Siri,
yeah,
reroute me.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, we are not taking this way on the way back home, because luckily it was early in the morning. It was like morning time, so it was daylight, but I knew on the way back it was going to be nighttime, and I'm like, I'm not driving to this dude's ranch at night because I don't want to get
you're in the desert, and it just sounds like a bad movie.
Yeah, for sure. I think they made something called the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Let's not do that. So where are you kind of at creatively right now? Are you writing, releasing, recording?
Actually, I'm gearing up to record here in the Hill Country, actually. There's a studio called The Zone, and it's over in Wimberley. And The Zone is, I went and visited with a friend of mine. Presley Hale was cutting a song there, and I went with Presley and got to just hear the sound engineers and Pat and just like absorb the atmosphere of the studio, and it was great. It felt great, and those guys just seemed to love they love what they do, and they're just. So I'm going to go there and record. I've got it's so hard to decide how I want to record them, but I've got a catalog of songs I need to get recorded, and it's probably the next one is, I guess I can say it, whatever. It's called Sweet Stuff. Okay. And I'm going to try to release that in February. Cool. And it's just a little recipe kind of song. Nice. But, so we've got a couple in the work, and then I plan on recording with him for the next foreseeable future. For sure. Like when you find somebody that just works, you gotta kind of keep going back to them. 100%. And my first I loved working with Notion Sound out in Clyde. Yeah. I enjoyed that process. We had so much fun. It was everybody had so much heart into it, and so I would go back there, but I wanted to. My goal was to record a blues album. I'm a folk singer, but I wanted a blues album. Yeah. And so I knew that I could. I don't know. I just trusted my friend there that I could, bring my band in, and he would capture what we were trying to do, and he did. And so, but now I want to get more into some folk, and it's not just folk, but just songwriter stuff, and maybe not just so hard heavy blues. Maybe some. Yeah. But see how it's feeling at that time. Yeah. So I wanted to check out The Zone. They're known for really pumping out some really great bluegrass and folk music and stuff like that. Can't wait to hear it all, Yeah, I don't know what it's going to be, if it's going to be blues or folk, but it'll be in the middle. Cool. I've had an opportunity. If I have to label it. I've had an opportunity to kind of listen to some of your stuff that you currently have out. They made a playlist of everybody that's gonna, and it's one of those things where when I'm driving, I just kind of turn it on, so I'm not always paying attention to who I'm listening to, and I don't remember which one of your songs I was listening to, but it came on, and I just looked. All I wanted to see was who it was, because I'm better at remembering names than I am song titles, just because for an artist, it's that's a Kerri Lick song. I'm the same way. I'll remember a song before I remember the artist's name, unfortunately. I'm the same way. Yeah. And so, I've really liked what you got out now, and I can't wait to hear what you have going, or what's coming out in February and all that stuff, or Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's gonna release to do some singles and then have like an EP, and I really want to release my work in like sections.
Yeah.
I don't really want to pump the single after single thing, but
I mean,
who knows what will happen.
It's one of those things where it's like Spotify kind of.
I know. I came in to get beers, and then I found a friend, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to do this?" And, and so now we're having a whole conversation. It's fine. Cheers. Hey, I love you, Parker.
Cheers. This is what the podcast is all about. Just random.
Hey, all my friends. Hello, beautiful.
How are you?
I'm good. Hanging out with my new friend here. Yeah. We're talking about life and music.
Yeah. That's good. Always. So, is this your first year here at Interjam, or were you here last year?
No, this is my first year.
Okay.
I just keep forgetting that I have headphones on, and I'm probably just shouting at my friends.
No, you're good. Because luckily you pulled the mic away like when they came in.
Okay, good.
Yeah. How was you just got done playing? I actually was eating dinner while you were playing, so I got to hear some of your set.
Oh, good.
How do you think your set went? What?
I'm glad you got to eat.
Yeah.
It was a good set. I got to play with. It's actually it was a very magical set for me because my friend there's Raymond.
Yeah.
My friend Thomas Knapp was playing, and I know. Hey.
This might be the most popular person.
Am I shouting? I don't know. Okay,
no,
good.
Okay,
good.
She's good.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah. You might be the most popular person we've had on the podcast all weekend.
I think it's just timing.
Yeah.
But, no, Thomas Knapp was playing with me.
Yeah.
And I've known Thomas Knapp for like a decade almost.
Yeah.
I don't know, several years. And we've played a set together in Stephenville.
Okay.
For a big 4th of July festival.
Nice.
And so as soon as I stepped on the stage, I felt like I time traveled. I was like, Thomas, is it 4th of July or is it October 20th?
Right.
It's October 20th, Kerri. It's okay.
Yeah,
okay.
We're there. We're,
right.
we're good.
But it was fun. It was magic.
And so, as far as shows after this, are you playing pretty consistently, or are you trying to?
Oh my goodness, I'm grateful that I could that I am busy, and there's shows that I want to do. For the longest time, an artist, especially in this scene, I feel just grind and say yes to everything. Yeah. They're just yes. And I finally thank goodness for my children because they give me an opportunity to say no to things. Yeah. And so, I've been able to just kind of dial in on shows that I really want to do and things that bring me a lot of joy rather than just a seafood restaurant in Tyler, Texas or something, wherever, far away from home where you have to drive 3 hours home, but whatever, yes, I do have actually a full year. That's what I was getting at is my calendar's full. I don't have an open date, and that's wait, what? But they're all things that I want to do. Yeah. They're all shows with my friends. Yeah. And stuff like this. Yeah.
And are they all pretty much in Texas, or are you getting out and?
Yeah, no, here, all my shows will be here for the rest of this year.
Okay.
In the spring, we're planning a trip up to Arkansas. I'm doing we haven't really talked about it a lot. Yeah. I guess Presley's talked about it a little bit, and so I guess I can talk about it too. Yeah. But we're doing a tour called Gone Fishing.
Okay.
And we're teaming up actually. So we did a lot of promo with Fatties on the Fly.
Okay. Yeah.
They took us on a guide,
nice.
Guided fish.
Nice.
And for our first one, they taught us how to cast fly fish cast. And that was a ton of fun, and so we were we need to find other outfitters.
Yeah.
And she's I go up to Arkansas once a year, and I was well, let's do this. Let's get with the outfitters. Let's get with some venues. Let's play some songs and go fishing.
Yeah.
And so we're doing that in the spring. Usually I try to go once or twice a year out and about. And
whether it's a week to whatever it is.
Mostly, yeah. It's usually just a week because I've got my little ones and I try to get home to them.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, other than that, if anybody wants to check out your music, any of that fun stuff, where's the best place to find you?
I have a website.
Nice.
KerriLick.com. But mostly, I think I'm stay active. I run, we're all independent artists.
Yeah.
So, I run my website, and sometimes it's not up to date.
Yeah, fair enough. I ended up having to close my website down because I hadn't updated it in 6 months.
Dude, I feel you.
And I was like, I'm paying $70 a month for this thing.
Which is expensive.
I'll keep the URL so somebody can't steal it, but
yeah, I got my domain.
Yeah.
Got my domain. That's on lockdown.
Because that's $15 a year. I can handle that, but $70 a month for me to not update this thing.
I know. It's like, then you gotta pay. It's like, I'm not that kind of person, so I need to pay for a website and I need to pay for somebody to keep up my website.
Yeah.
But there is the website, and I do manage to keep it somewhat maintenance. But mostly like social media is where I am most active, of course, like everybody in the world.
Yeah.
But it's just Kerri, Kerrilick.
Awesome. And then just because I've asked everybody that comes on,
what's your question?
What is the most random cover song you have in your back pocket?
Oh my goodness, they're pretty random.
Okay.
So I have a story to even. Can I tell you my story?
Go for it.
Okay, so I was playing at this little bar called Bob's off the square in Granbury, and this waitress, the cocktail waitress, walks up to me and she's like, "You really need to learn this song." Like, and you hear that all the time. But I was like, I'm gonna go learn this song because it was a good song. So it's a song called "Roller Skates" by Melanie.
Okay.
You know what song I'm talking about?
No clue.
Okay, it's like, if you hear the chorus, you would know it. But you need to look it up. "Roller Skates" by Melanie.
Okay.
I got a brand new pair of roller skates. You got a brand new key. You know what I'm talking about?
I've heard the song. Yes. Okay. I didn't know. who it was by, what it was called, but
that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my back pocket. That's the randomest shit.
It's I feel like I've seen it or heard it in like the credits of movies before or something like that.
To me, it sounds like that song from Weeds.
Okay.
Like all the ticky-tacky houses.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that genre.
Nice.
I feel like.
That's cool. That's a good, like, it's always funny to like look at the random songs you want to learn.
Random.
Yeah. It's like, you know, because, like, I mean, that's what keeps, like, if you have to do cover songs, like, what would you rather hear? The 300th version of Tennessee Whiskey?
Oh, my God. No.
You know, or like
I do that sometimes, but I mix it with Etta James.
Yeah.
You gotta mix it.
Yeah. I have a friend that she does a cover of, she has a cover of a song, but she throws in "Lose Yourself" from Eminem. Like,
yes. I love when people do that.
She cuts out like the chorus of the song, and then she throws in "Lose Yourself,"
and then she gets Slim Shady on everybody.
Yeah, I
love that.
It is the coolest. I can't for the life of me remember. I probably should stop drinking, but you know, it's really cool. Like, I like it when people bend styles like that. It's really
me too. Fun, so. I love it with cross genre stuff like that, and just make you think about a song different. And with lyrics, that's what it does. It makes you hear the lyrics differently, and I love that.
Absolutely. But once again, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I'm glad, just by pure chance, I just wrapped up another podcast, and you walked right in.
You're getting so much content right now. It's awesome.
Luckily, she's the person I was interviewing is very outgoing, because I was going to let you walk by because you were on a mission.
But
so
I was going to. I know. Okay, so I had to get a beer for Raymond, and I had to find Cameron. I had 3 tasks to do, and and they always know when they send me off to do a task, I'm going to get none of them done. and they all 3 just walked through the door while we were talking like classic Kerri.
Yeah, fair enough. But Kerri, thank you so much for sitting down and chatting with me. It's been an absolute blast. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of In a Jam.
Oh, I'm so excited. To be here all weekend. Like, we're going to hang out and fish. That's what I'm excited to do.
Nice. That's going to be fun. Hopefully the river's not too cold for it. Or are you
I'm doing a cold plunge.
Okay.
Kidding me? I love cold water. I saw Landon do it, and I was like, Landon's doing it, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Last time we were here, we did the river float.
Okay.
And I did the swing. I swung off the tree swing.
Did you do the river float back in August or whatever? Okay.
Yeah, we did at the green light.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. And I did the swing off the tree in the middle of the river. And so I was like, I love river stuff. I will be doing the cold plunge too. The
closest thing I got to the cold plunge this weekend will be the shower in the bathtub.
I will pull you out. If you want to jump in, I will pull you out.
No, I can't. I can't swim, to be honest.
You don't have. It's not deep. It's just okay. Well, we'll talk about this later. But if I can convince you,
it's just one of those things where I can't swim, so I don't do a whole lot of that stuff. So.
No, I agree. I can't. I'm not a great swimmer. I could doggy paddle.
Yeah.
But the river's like maybe thigh deep.
Yeah.
It's super shallow.
Well,
at the moment, unfortunately.
I was like all weekend. I've been talking to the owners of the campground. It's like, how's your tubing been? Because I see all these stories, and I have a few friends that own or been to properties like up by the dam or past the dam and all that stuff. And they have no river.
Yeah, it's dry, man. It's dry.
So
it's been a bad season of dryness, but there's still some water out here. I'm gonna fish in it. I'm gonna catch me a fish in the morning.
I hope you do. I really hope you do. But once again, thank you so much, and we will see you all later.
All right, bye. Yep.